States. Put the ribbon on.
Hey, Cedric, Bob, this guy won't wear a ribbon. Do you have something to say, human? Visual.
It's not like he wants to smush up against you to fill his hits.
I don't think so. He thinks he's really can and will be used to get to the court of law.
Next time you come down, I'll give you a few preloads. This is a process, Miss Paul. You just have to be patient.
I was more than willing to break bread. I know what I'm doing here. Clippers, please.
After that selection, after that song, somebody ought to say thank you. Say praise the Lord.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Praise the
How
Lord.
great is
You
that?
bet.
We call that a sizzle reel in the biz, and that was one of the best sizzle reels right there, too. I love when we have big-time celebrities on the show, which is great. And we're going to talk to Wren T. Brown. He doesn't need the quarter-inch cable.
Well, if there's a guy that has a quarter-inch cable probably on his hip, right? He does.
Yeah, exactly. So
Wren
we're
T.
still
Brown.
efforting that cable, and we're going to get back to that. But in the meantime, we are going to move on right now and bring in Wren T. Brown. Good to see author, comedian, I'm not comedian, actor, everything. Well, I'm probably a comedian too, but you do everything, don't you?
Listen, thank you so much, both of you, for having me on. I'm excited on this Friday to be with you. And again, thank you so much for having me.
All right, you got, of all those things that you're busy, I don't know how you prioritize all of it and everything you've done in your career. I mean, we were watching it all morning, different things. You've been on things we know, we've seen you on. I feel like we know you a little bit, but an author, and you got a book out. You want to talk a little bit about family business and how it all came to be?
Absolutely. The family business is something that I'm exceedingly proud of. It began with me just homing together and wanting to preserve my family's legacy. I knew my mother's parents. I did not know my father's parents, but all four of them were theatricals. They all had worked in vaudeville. They had all worked on minstrel shows. And so as an actor, you know, from the time I was 17 years old, I became this person who said, I'm going to preserve this. And so I got inspired by it, just preserving it over the years, scanning it, searching out other documents, getting information about those individuals, particularly I did not know. And so through the years, I realized, particularly with my great-grandfather, Willis Handy Young, having founded the New Orleans Strutters in the aughts of the 20th century, he employed 22 to 25 people as a part of his theater company. And in 2008, when I founded the Ebony Repertory Theatre, which was the first and only African-American professional theater in the history of Los Angeles, it became something of a bookend to the New Orleans Strutters of my great-grandfather. And so that inspired the book and putting it together. And I realized that there was a book inside of all that I'd been preserving.
Come on, man. That
Wow,
gives me
isn't that
chills.
incredible?
That whole thing gives me incredible chills.
It's great.
There you see the cover there. That's unbelievable.
Fourth generation, which is amazing. You just mentioned that too. Any of the family members that were more of a bigger influence on you, you know, than some of the other ones?
My mother's parents, particularly my grandfather. My grandfather, Lee Young Sr., was my living hero. We were inseparable. He was just a giant in my life, and he was a man who made his first recordings in December of 1937, playing the drums with Fats Waller at the famous Door in Hollywood. He then went on to be the first black staff musician in the history of Hollywood, Columbia Pictures, 1946. And then he, for 25 years, was the drummer and musical director for Nat King Cole. Whoa. They met in 1937, and their professional association stopped in 1962. But my grandfather, we went to all the Lakers games together, the Dodgers games, the Rams games, track meets. We talked on the phone daily and often, and my grandfather was my living hero.
That's amazing, man. Now, what I think about is the fact, you know, author and actor and producer and director. You're also like a genealogist too now. I mean, you could put that kind of at the end of all of this research that you've done to uncover these great stories about your own family. I mean, what a powerful moment.
Well, you know, I am called the family archivist, but I love genealogy. I absolutely fell in love with it as a part of searching and then researching my family. And I have to say I'm greatly thankful to the repositories all over this country that have been helpful and beneficial in that particular search and research.
That's amazing.
I love that. Obviously, being an author is huge, something that you enjoy. We saw some video early on of your acting, getting involved in all that. How the differences, I guess. I mean, you got to miss some of the fun stuff you did, back in the day. Not that you're still not acting now, but being part of Curb Your Enthusiasm and hanging out with
everybody
some of these
hates
guys.
Chris.
Learning the business. Everybody hates Chris. Had to be so much fun for you. McDonald's commercial.
Yeah, the first ever McDonald's Chicken McNuggets campaign in March of 1982. But Curb Your Enthusiasm, for instance, completely improvisation with Larry David. I mean, it was a joy to do Curb Your Enthusiasm. I have a quick little story if we have some time about the Seinfeld episode. I got a call on a Sunday, and I didn't realize that the audition was on a Sunday. My family, we had just come from church, and we like to go to open houses on Sunday. And so we came in very leisurely on that Sunday, and I checked my messages, and it said, Wren, you have an audition for Seinfeld at 2 p.m. It was 1:40 at this time. And so I called my agent back, and I said, listen, I'll be ready for 1:40 tomorrow. He said, no, Wren, it's 1:40 today. And I said, oh my goodness. So I got dressed and I ran out to the valley to prepare myself to audition for Jerry Seinfeld. And so the casting director walked me in and he introduced me to the director. He said, Wren T. Brown, this is Andy Ackerman, Wren Brown, Jerry Seinfeld, Wren Brown, Jerry Seinfeld. And Jerry Seinfeld said to me, Wren, how are you? And I said, well, you've had no regard for my Sabbath. And they fell on the floor. And they said, Wren, you're hired. Come to work tomorrow.
No way.
So
Oh, there you go.
Part of the joy of the experience.
Oh my gosh,
Yes,
that's fantastic.
That is, oh my gosh, that is so good. I love that.
I'm hiring you on the spot. You do the better Seinfeld.
You're in, yeah, you're in. Hey, Wren.
All right, hey, I know we have like a minute left. I want to hear a little bit more though about the theater that you started. I know that's got to be such a prideful thing that you have created there in Los Angeles. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
I do. The Ebony Repertory Theatre, again, as I stated, is the first and only African-American professional theater in the history of this city. I was born 150 yards from the front door of where our company is the resident company and operator of the beautiful Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. We have a mid-sized house, 400 seats, where there are no bad sight lines. You can produce theater, dance, music, and lecture, and no seats are bad in the theater. And for these last 17 years, it has been a complete joy for me to embrace the definition of producer that I embrace, which is the producer of opportunity. And so it's a joy there to be with Ebony Repertory Theatre, and I have an extraordinary partner there in Gail Hooks. She's our managing director, and we've been running the race from the very beginning together. So thank you for asking. And you see the set behind me. That is one of the sets from the Jeff Stetson play Fraternity, and that set was designed by a childhood friend. We met at 12 years old, and his name is Edward Haynes.
Oh my gosh.
That's so great.
All those
Oh
cool
my
stories.
gosh.
People you've met. That's just
He's got the smile on his face.
I
He's
know.
doing well. I love that kind of stuff. We go on your IMDb. It's just an endless thing. It's a pleasure to talk to you. I know you said you're excited to be on our show, but we're just excited to talk to you.
for sure.
Well, you honor me. It's my real pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
We need more Wren T. Brown energy in our lives, especially down in Los Angeles. Everybody you know okay down there? I'm always a little nervous asking, but how is everybody, everything that in your kind of
I have
hemisphere?
many friends who have lost everything, but in my specific family, in my specific extended family, we're all well, safe and sound. Thank you very much for asking.
For sure.
There you
All
go.
right. Well, hey, you take care of yourself. Keep doing these things, putting out that energy. We need that in our world right now, let me tell you. Wren T. Brown, complete honor. Good luck with everything, the book and beyond.
Wren T. Brown, there you go. You're hired again. There he goes. I love him.
Hired on the spot.
On the spot.
Come on, man. That doesn't happen except for him. The Family Business is the name of the book. Check it out online. Facebook, Instagram, the X, all the stories. I'm sure what that will also do is inspire people to look deeper into their own families and their own stories.
You got to do that.
I kind of want to do it right now.
Deep.